That's Retro Fandango. That's Retro Fandango. When it's Android over iPhone and you can keep your stupid amiibo and always bashing on Nintendo. But that's Retro Fandango. That's Retro Fandango. Thanks, Retro Fandango. Wow.
Hey, hello. What's going on
Hey,
here?
hey.
What's going on here with this thing? Here we go. There we go. There we go.
Whoa.
There we are. Look at us, eh? Ready and live to do some Retro Fandango. We got a movie to talk about, Night of the Juggler. We're a week late. A little sinus problem all last week. But the good news is it was one of those colds where I was sick enough to not do anything, but not too sick where I was like in bed comatose. So it's one of those ones where I got to sit on the couch and watch a lot of movies. So you guys are going to benefit with all the movie talk.
Stick.
Yeah. All the movie stuff I have to talk about. Yeah, and it was weird because I had this sinus infection. It was really bothering me.
So is it an actual infection, not just seasonal stuff?
No, it wasn't like allergies. It was like, I don't know. Like it started with the sore throat, and usually my colds, they always start with the sore throat, go up into the sinuses, and eventually down into the chest, where I have a cough for like, I don't know, 4 weeks. This was like started with the sore throat, maybe in a day or two went into the sinuses, and it just stayed there. It lingered there. It lived there. So then I got my brain cells together as I'm suffering, and I realized I got a bunch of Buckleys in my medicine cabinet. And Buckley's.
Slow down. What's a Buckley?
Buckley's is a cold medication, strong cold medication. That their slogan is that it tastes awful, but it works. So it's like a really bad tasting cough medicine, but I chicken out. I get the gel caps. I pay extra for so you don't taste anything. It's just Buckley's down the throat. But one of the things in the Buckley's is extra strength Tylenol. So you got to make sure you don't take any Tylenol with it, because there's already Tylenol in the Buckley's, right? And it's pretty strong. And I'm taking 2 every 4 to 6 hours. As soon as I start feeling bad, you take more Buckley's. There's a certain amount, like 8 capsules, I think you can't surpass in a day, but as long as you're under that amount, you're okay. So I'm doing that all week. And then as I start feeling better, I start, cutting down on the Buckley's. I don't need this Buckley's anymore. And as I'm cutting down on the Buckley's, my tooth is hurting. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And as I'm coming down off the Buckley's, the pain in my tooth just keeps going up and up. I'm like, what the hell? So I figure what happened is I do have one filling back there, and I figure that I must have chipped it or loosened it.
Did all the Buckley's, like the gel caps, did they suction and pull out?
No. I remember I was up late one night. I think I skipped some, like I had like a light supper and I didn't have anything to eat. So I remember getting up at like 3 a.m, taking the Buckley's and like being really hungry. So I took some, like just a small thing of yogurt, and I just, took a handful of almonds in there, threw the almonds in the yogurt, and I like started crunching in the back. And I think that's where I loosened my filling. But because I was so high on Buckley's, I didn't feel anything. So yeah, once I started coming down, the pain started going up. So unfortunately, I haven't been diligent with my dentist appointments and whatnot. We had a dentist in Stouffville, but since we moved here, we kind of been putting it off. Like, yeah, we got to do that dentist thing, and we'll get to it eventually. Till eventually, it's like I have no choice. I gotta see a dentist because this is not good. So
Well, that's the rule of dentists. Dentists are for rich people or until you have no choice.
right, yeah. Well, we're under a plan. We're under Sarah's plan. So there was really no excuse other than pure laziness for not
Mhm.
going. So, and then eventually we are supposed to get if you're under a certain amount of income in Canada, we are supposed to start like people can like it gets covered under healthcare. That is a plan
Now,
that's
does
supposed to be
that
rolled out.
cover if something's wrong or just a general checkup?
I think cleaning, checkups, the X-rays, the whole bit.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, yeah. See, in Canada, we take care of each other. In the United States, I
Mhm.
don't know what you guys are doing down there. You're all trying to
Well, we got
shoot each
something.
other.
We got something similar here. We get
Yeah,
that national coverage.
yeah.
It
I
doesn't
understand.
usually cover cleanings and things. That's the thing
It
you go there 97% for.
Yeah, it might not do cleanings. I don't know the exact thing, but I do know that like if you have like a cavity, you can go in there and get it fixed up if you're in pain or whatever. How well
Mhm.
it's going to be implemented and all that, that's a whole other, ball of wax. But anyways, it's going to be there soon. Anyways, we have a plan. But just through sheer laziness, I haven't taken advantage of it. So I had to go into the dentist, which thankfully is just down, uh, around the corner from me, so I could just walk over there. But I can't get in until April 9th. And
Oh,
depending on when you're listening to this, that is a month away. That is a long time away. But thankfully, just a couple of extra strength Tylenols are getting me through.
just keep
Um,
taking your Buckleys.
Well, it's the thing with Buckley's is that it really dries your sinuses, right? Like it stops the
Mhm.
runny nose. So I just need the Tylenol in there. And Buckley's is a lot more expensive than Tylenol too. So
It was more fun to say Buckley.
Buckley's is fun. You can call your Tylenol Buckley's if you want.
I
See
think I'm
them.
going to call all my medication Buckleys from now on.
Sure, why not?
I'll pop a handful of Buckleys.
Surprised
Scrape your knee, have a Buckley.
I'm surprised you haven't heard of it. I didn't think they were Canadian, but I thought they were in the States, but maybe they were a
Oh,
newer
I'm sure
thing.
there's plenty of medication out west that I'm not aware of. Hang on, I gotta check this out. Buckley medicine.
I don't know if you have to check
Uh,
it out.
well, Buckley's is a Canadian brand known for
Oh,
potent
okay.
cough, cold, and flu medicines.
Oh, well, there you
Famous for
go.
their "it tastes awful and it works"
There you
marketing.
go.
It tastes awful and it
And
works,
it
not
works.
but it works.
Right. Tastes awful and it works. That's right. It does both, man. At least they're honest, They're not trying to make up anything.
Oh yeah, I'd appreciate that.
Anyways, yeah, so I gotta wait until I get to the dentist. So, anyways, there's a lesson for you kids. Go in for those regular checkups and that because you never know when you're gonna need to get in to see that dentist. You never know when you're gonna accidentally eat some almonds in the wrong part of your mouth.
Yeah, you're at that age now. You got to be careful about those almonds.
I'm at that age where I have to be careful of everything. It's ridiculous. Yeah. But it kind of works because I have to take the Tylenol every 4 to 6 hours. So that kind of works with my bladder too, because I got to get up like 3 or 4 times now at night to go for a pee. So one of those times you get the Tylenol in there too. So synergy.
Do you use your phone a lot before bed?
Not yeah. To be honest, sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Okay, because I used to be big on that, where I just keep checking one more thing, one more thing, one more thing.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
recently I've decided to stop altogether. I don't look at my phone after a certain point, and
right.
I've noticed that after doing so, I don't get up in the middle of the night anymore. I don't
Yeah.
know if there's a strong connection to it, but I used to get up maybe once a night. Had to go do that midnight run
Mhm.
to the toilet, but now after I stop looking at my phone, I sleep straight through.
No, not me. Even like I've done that before. I've read that where like the blue light in the screen is supposed to keep you awake and
Yeah.
all that. And I'm like, okay, I'll stop using my phone. It didn't do anything. Lately I've been okay. Like my thing is like not so much getting up, get up, go to the bathroom, get up, take a Tylenol or whatever like that. My thing is getting back to sleep after that, like just shut up and get back to sleep. And lately I have been able to do that. I've been able to get up, do whatever I need to do and go back to sleep. So I've been thankful for that. So yeah, I've never had problems like falling asleep. It's staying asleep. And then I don't sometimes I find that looking at the phone actually does help me go to sleep because I'll have questions in my head. And I'm like, oh, let me look this up, and then I can get my answer and then I can go to sleep,
Sure.
So.
Yeah. Well, maybe you're just a good protector. Maybe it's the survival instinct part of you that wants to like be alert at night in case any wild animals come around.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. No, I want to go to sleep. I want to sleep. Okay. Well, what do you say we get to Night of the Juggler and
Sure.
get this out of the way, and then we could do a podcast. How's that sound?
I'm good.
All right.
Now, I think,
Yes.
well, I was going to say, you had never heard of this film before.
No, I had not.
Okay. I had never heard of this film before. The only reason I found out about it is because it was playing. There was like oh gosh, when did this come out? 1980. So there was
Yes.
like a recent 4K remaster, I think back in 2025. So it was just put out into one theater near me. My wife saw the advertisement and said, "Hey, you like this kind of stuff, don't you?" I was like, "I never heard of this," but I went to see it. I was like, "Oh my goodness, Kevin's got to watch this movie."
Wow, you saw it in the theater. That is so
I saw it
cool.
in theater twice.
Wow. That's insane. It's craziness.
But I'll say, well, kind of jumping ahead here, but for a 4K remaster, it sure doesn't look like it.
Well, there's only so much they could do with that might be the style of the film too. Let's introduce it and then we can get into it. Okay.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, listeners from all over, our movie today is Night of the Juggler, which came out in 1980 and stars a bunch of people. We'll get into that. Let me give you the little rundown here. Night of the Juggler is a gritty action thriller about a former cop, Sean Boyd, whose young daughter is suddenly kidnapped on the streets of New York City. Boyd chases the kidnapper across the city, discovering that the man responsible is a disturbed criminal who mistakenly abducted the girl while trying to kidnap someone else. As Boyd desperately tracks him through the subways, parks, and crowded neighborhoods, the situation becomes more dangerous and unpredictable. The film builds tension around Boyd's relentless pursuit and the race against time to rescue his daughter before the unstable kidnapper harms her. This is the movie came out in 1980, but this is really a throwback to the 1970s, if you can call
it. I believe it was shot a few years before it was released.
Oh, it was.
It kind of sat on the shelf for a little bit because it does have that 70s.
Absolutely. And okay, that makes sense. Because I was going to say, so one of the actors in the film is Dan Hedaya. Is that how you say his name? Dan Hedaya. Anyways, he played Carla's husband on Cheers, and he's also been in other things.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's been in the Clueless, the movie Clueless, and a bunch of other TV work.
Sure. Yeah,
I think he was in that face. He was in that movie Wag the Dog, I believe, as well. He's been around for a long time. He passed away a few years ago, but that makes sense because I was looking at this movie and it came out in 1980, and his first appearance on Cheers had to be at least 1984, and he looked like he aged about 10 years within that 4-year lifespan.
Okay.
Like I'm looking at him, he looks so old and svelte and the whole bit, and he does not look like the big schlob that was on Cheers, and
Mhm.
so that makes sense. Okay, okay, so yeah, gritty, urban 70s New York style of film. Think The French Connection, Pelham 123, Serpico, Death Wish, Taxi
Mhm.
Driver, the Seven Ups, the war, maybe the Warriors a little bit.
Sure, yeah.
Have you ever seen the movie Across 110th Street?
No.
It's kind of this movie reminded me of that film as well, although that film's a little more urban. It's a black movie.
Okay.
uh yeah, and then I guess the hook of the movie is that the father, his daughter gets kidnapped. He's a former
Mhm.
cop, and he's racing across New York to save her. Like we
Yeah.
said, the movie came out in 1980. It's directed by Robert Butler, who
Mhm.
also directed Richard.
Oh, you got me.
Don't look it up. Are you looking it up?
Yeah, I'm trying to. No,
Believe it,
no, names.
believe it or not, he directed the first pilot of the original Star Trek series. Of course, you're going to get some Star Trek here.
Oh,
The Cage. He
oh,
directed. He directed The Cage.
okay.
You know, with Spock laughing and Captain Pike and all that stuff.
Yeah, and the
Yeah,
nice turtlenecks they had.
that's right. Number One and all that stuff, which was later turned into the Menagerie in the original series,
Yes.
the big two-parter. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. He did direct a few other films as well, that I have not seen, and I'm curious to see more.
Mhm.
Okay, the movies. Let's see, where should we go from here?
Well,
Okay,
that's the one thing that's a little difficult about this movie because the description you gave is pretty much the whole movie.
yeah,
It starts off right away. It's one big chase. Um, a pretty strong segment of the first act is the initial chase.
yes,
And then it's almost like a road movie because it's Josh Brolin's character just trying to get his daughter back, but he encounters lots of quirky, colorful people along the way, and they have their moment to shine for just one scene, maybe two, and then he
hmm
moves on to another place, another set of people, and it's him just trying to get information, trying to get his daughter back,
yeah.
chasing this guy down.
Like the timeline of the film is that his daughter gets kidnapped on her way to school in the morning,
Mm.
and by that evening, we're having a confrontation. But spoiler alert, we're going to get into spoilers. We're having a
Yeah.
confrontation between Josh Brolin and the bad guy.
Yeah, but
Well,
seriously, to anybody who's sounds like if this sounds at all interesting to you, please watch the movie first because we can only spoil all the little moments that make it fun.
yeah, this movie is like an experience. Really, it's like the story isn't all that. I didn't find like there was a bunch of twists and turns in it.
No,
It was
it's pretty straightforward. It's just him. He gets a piece of information, follows that information, next
yeah,
scene, next character
yeah.
until
It's
the
it's a
confrontation.
this movie is a flavor. It's like you want to taste it.
It's I did after I saw it in theater. I tried to track down a copy. I did find the
Oh, nice.
DVD, and there is a commentary track here by two film historians, and I listened to it. I'd say you could probably skip it. There's not a whole lot in it, but one of the things that they just constantly hammer down is that one of the just like Ghostbusters, one of the most integral characters is New York City. So if
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
really love that era of New York City where it was just filthy and disgusting. You get a whole lot of that. You get above ground, underground, the law enforcement, the locals, strip joints, just everything that you want out of that era of New York City. You get
Yep.
a little sampling.
All the ethnic communities as well play a huge part in the film. It's a type of film that could not be made in any other era at any other time in any other city. It
It's a
has to be
very
1970.
distinct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's just go through some of the characters. So main characters played by James Brolin, Sean Boyd. It's interesting too. At the start of the film, they establish him as a working man. Like I think he's a truck driver.
Yeah.
And like he's gone a lot. He's divorced. His wife lives out in Connecticut in the suburbs. He's living in New York City proper. So he's kind of gone a lot because he is driving truck, and he has somebody that looks after his daughter, make sure she goes to school and all that stuff. But I don't think they actually revealed that he was a former cop unless I missed something at the beginning, but I don't think they revealed
No,
until midway through the film.
it's not until he is confronted by the police, Tonelli.
Right.
I forget the actor's name, but it's like a real quick. You might miss it. The line comes up fast.
Yeah. So the bad guy is played by the kidnapper is played a gentleman named Cliff Gorman. He plays unstable kidnapper Gus Soltic. He is. I don't know anything about him. He did a great job in the movie. Apparently, he won 2 Tony Awards after this movie, and he portrayed Lenny Bruce in the play Lenny.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of information on this film. If you go to Wikipedia, anything like that, it's really bare bones.
Yeah.
I was hoping to find some more information. You're not going to get a lot of IMDb trivia
No.
or like I said, the audio commentary didn't give you a whole lot.
Yeah,
Fact wise,
there's no what's that thing? What's that segment we used to do? Fun facts.
fun facts.
You're not going to find any Sporkle articles on this movie. One actor, well, there's a couple actors I did recognize, but one of them I did recognize was Richard S. Castellano, better known as Clemenza from the Godfather film.
Yep.
The leave the gun, take the cannolis guy. He's the guy that's making the sauce there in the movie as well. He plays the police lieutenant who's in charge of the kidnapping case. Couple like the female actresses I don't really know. Julie Carmen plays Maria Melendez, and then the young girl who's kidnapped, Abby Bluestone, plays Kathy Boyd. Then you have, like we mentioned before, Dan Hedaya, who plays basically he's a
Carlos. In this, yeah. Well, he's another cop, but he's got a little past with Mr. Boyd.
Yeah, they're not friends. Basically, so the reason why Sean Boyd is a former cop is that he pulled a Serpico, meaning that he ran into some dirty cops. They tried to pay him off to keep him quiet, and he ratted them out. They basically found a way to get him kicked off the force while the bad cops are still on the force. And Dan Hedaya is one of the bad cops who would have had a much better career in the police force if it weren't for all the stuff. Like if Sean Boyd would have just taken the bribe, everything would have been fine.
Yeah. Even his ex-wife tells him, like, "Hey, you should have just taken the money."
That's right. And then a surprise pop-up by one of my favorite follows on the social media is Mandy Patinkin. Also,
I was very surprised when I saw him.
Also known as Ignio Montoya from The Princess Bride. If you're not following Mandy Patinkin and his wife on the social medias, you're not living right. I'm sorry to tell you, but that couple is just adorable. And it's if you ever get depressed and you're starting to doom scroll, just go over to Mandy Patinkin's.
Really?
Yeah, he does post some politics stuff too. He gets into it too, but stuff with him and his wife, like he's got one of those kids who's social media savvy, so he gets him and his wife to to do things, his parents to do things for social media, and it's good time. Good time. So yeah, Mandy Patinkin, and then of course, like we mentioned, of course, New York is a character in the film. They also used a lot of local actors and just people in the city as extras in the film, which of course
It sure
gives the
feels
film,
like it.
right. It gives the film that New York feel. They also, made sure not to clean up any of the
Oh,
area.
they
No,
absolutely did not clean up.
no, they wanted this to be a gritty film, and gritty is what we got.
If you want to see another, well, I don't know. This is a film probably not a lot of people have seen, but Nighthawks with Stallone and Billy D. Williams. That is a disgusting slice of New York as well.
Yeah, they're quite. I mean, I've some of the movies that we mentioned that I mentioned earlier. Yeah, there's that New York, 70s New York. Like, I mean, I guess it was cleaned up in the 90s, right? Like that was the big
Yeah, I mean,
cleanup.
throughout the 80s, it was still pretty gross, but I think when you see New York portrayed in films in the 80s, it does have a somewhat
Yeah,
stylized messiness to it.
yeah,
The 70s New York was just
trash
real. They
everywhere.
just
Yeah.
set up a camera and
One of
that's
my
what you got.
one of my favorite episodes of All in the Family is when Archie Bunker is on the subway to Manhattan with his family, and he refers to the subway as Skid Row on wheels. Love it. All right, kind of touched on the themes and style a little bit already, but the desperation in the film plays a huge part. Desperation, trying to save your child, save your kid. Urban chaos and danger in the 70s, New York. And then, yeah, freaking chase sequences. There are quite a few chase sequences that are well executed. Like
Mhm.
Richard mentioned, the one at the car chase at the beginning of the film. Very
Well,
well done.
just to go back a little bit, it's a case of mistaken identity. The kidnapper, Soltic, he they get to it later on in the film, but his family owned property, which had then, bottomed out. Just the neighborhood went down the tubes, as
Yeah,
it looks like he's in a pile of rubble. Is
yeah,
basically his neighborhood.
he has a very racist view
Yeah,
on
he's
what
got
happened.
some misguided anger.
Yeah, big time.
Basically, his property went downhill. He blames the minority community for it, but he's trying to get revenge on the developers. So
Mhm. So at
he's
least he
planning
has
to
that
kidnap.
part. He has that part right, where he's trying to get revenge on the developers and not take it out on the minorities. But he's still,
Which he kind of does here and
yeah,
there.
yeah,
But his whole plan is to kidnap the daughter of one of these multimillionaire developers and to ransom her. But the daughter ends up resembling, even down to the clothing she's wearing, Boyd's daughter. So it's just a very quick. He snatches her in the park, and then that starts the first chase scene where Boyd sees the kidnapping and then immediately starts after the car. And there's that part of you is like, oh no, he's not going to get there in time. But that chase goes on for 15, 20 minutes.
yeah,
It really is an extended chase where he encounters several of those quirky, colorful characters. I think Mandy Patinkin is the first one. He's
yeah. The
the
cab
cab
driver.
driver.
Yeah, yeah. It's what I liked about it is that it's like it sounds like 20-minute chase scene. That sounds like really exhausting and long, but it is a living and breathing document. It
Mm.
keeps it keeps changing, stuff changes in it enough to keep you invested in it, keep you interested in it.
Yes,
He's
yeah.
not just stuck in one car the entire time and they're just constantly chasing it. You know, he gets out, the other guy gets out, or he's the kidnappers, pulling the girl around, they're running, they're back into cars, and it's all done within the city of New York, right? There's no
Mhm.
uh fakeness happening, which adds to the realism of the film. Like I have down here that they used all real, like they used the real subways. They
Yep.
didn't try to make a set or anything like that. They used the
Yeah,
actual
you never get
subways.
onto the Seinfeld, New York streets, or
Right,
they don't double Toronto at any point.
right.
It's just they just it's the kind of shooting, like probably a very guerrilla shoot that you could get away with back then.
Yeah.
Nowadays, all the permits and the costs and everything, it's
That
just
is
nightmare.
one of the things. Yeah, that is one of the things down here that I have. Because there's a lot of great stunt work in the movie. There's actually one where James Rowland's being chased by a bunch of by some Puerto Rican gang, and he's coming down like this bunch of rubble, and several of the Puerto Rican gang come up, and they
Yeah,
just start like jumping down, like 20 feet down, and like
sure.
they're stunt guys. They know how to land and all that stuff, but I don't think they could get away with that today, doing
Oh,
it
no,
like
no,
that.
no. You'd have to sift through that for all the rusted nails, and everybody would have
Yeah,
harnesses and
yeah.
crash pads and all that kind of stuff.
Like
The
some where they landed, they were behind some brush, so I'm thinking, okay, there had to be like a landing pad probably behind there, because that one guy, he fell like 20 feet on, like down on his, like he didn't like do like the roll or anything like that. He just like boom. So there had to be something there to break that fall a little bit, but
Also, is probably just, hey, we're making a movie. You want to make a few bucks? Yeah, all right.
yeah, and it's the
At
actual
that
actors.
fearless age, yeah.
It's the actual actors doing this. Well, I'm sure there was a little bit trained stunt
I,
people in there in that too, but
I think in the commentary they mentioned that particular scene might have been a stunt double for James Brolin,
okay,
just because there's like a long shot where
yeah.
he tumbles down a little bit.
And I did notice like the little girl gets a little
It's a
bulked up
little.
in
She
some
bulks
of
up
those
a few times.
tumble shots. So
Well, she
um
does actually hit the ground in one shot where
yep,
like he's like pulling her along,
yeah,
and she probably had some crash
padding.
pad
Yeah, she's
padding
wearing
going
like
on.
those overalls, so there's probably
Those,
something under
yeah,
there. But a lot of the physical fights were the actual actors. Um, let's see, it's involving throws, falls, hard surfaces, impact against walls and vehicles. Like it's all stuff that they couldn't get away with today because there's just too much with the insurance and whatnot. So
yeah. Or
um,
even just setting up some of these shots, even if it wasn't a huge physical stunt for the actors. There is one scene where what was his name? Dan O'Hea?
uh, this guy, like I've known this guy, my like
I can't remember his name
Hedaya,
properly.
Hedaya,
Hideo.
Dan Hedaya.
There's one point where he's got a shotgun and he's going
Yeah,
around blasting, and like storefront windows and hot dog carts and everything are exploding, and
yeah,
it's big open street. It's
yeah,
not like they just set off a little corner and had no bypassers or anything. It's just boom, boom, boom.
yeah,
Lots
and
of car
it's
crashes and stuff.
like real traffic, real crowds, real New York City. I mean, they're actors doing their thing, but it's real.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, and it kind of had a documentary style feel to a lot of it in terms of that stuff, like uh, just the way that it was shot and whatnot, like how they would follow. How the cameras I found followed the action and all that kind of gave me a little bit of a documentary feel to it.
sure.
Like,
Well, I
like
guess
that's what,
because it was so much of it is on location, there's only so much you can do. They probably didn't have a whole lot of lighting set up, so it was just natural light
yeah,
and, you know, real crowds, real I
yeah,
mean, lots of big open spaces. There's a concert at the end. They're in the streets, the subways. There's so many extras that are just real people.
yeah. And that is something that they would do a lot in the 70s because they would have it was basically a lot of the areas like the Harlem and whatnot. They would have these big concerts in parks, free concerts. They would put up free
Mm,
concerts in order to keep people a little calm give them something to look forward to in that, because it was just that it was that bleak, you know.
Mhm.
I gotta blow my nose. Hold on a sec.
Go
Still got
for
that
it.
cold. Hold on.
Yeah. You didn't even bother muting your mic. I do
I
that
could have
every time.
I could have muted my mic, but I thought no, this is
No,
the
this is
gritty.
70s real.
That's right, gritty real experience. Okay, okay, so we kind of mentioned like how this movie isn't very well known. It when it did come out in 1980, it was received very well by the critics. I think right now it sits on 94% positive rating on
Probably because only the few people who know about it and like it are dropping those ratings.
well, even
But it
this is from the critics, so the critic rating, not the
okay.
audience score, and they do draw from a lot of media that came out at the time. And a lot of the media at the time did praise the gritty atmosphere, the action sequences. Some reviewers found the violence, which, you know, okay, 1970s, I can see that violence being maybe a little too much for some. It is a bit of a sleazy movie, so I can kind of see that. Like a lot of language, and that is, you know,
A lot of language, and yeah, there is a pretty
there's
fun scene in a uh not those peep show booths.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And exaggerated characters, which, you know, is I think code for a little bit of racism. It is a little bit of a racist
Well,
movie.
the that is primarily the bad guy, and he's a bad guy, and he's
Yeah, but there is like you know,
well
all
stereotypes, I guess.
yes,
Mandy
yes.
Patinkin's character,
Yeah.
which I
There's
guess if you have a problem with him in Princess Bride, you're not gonna like him anymore in this one.
and then like, you know, the Puerto Ricans are kind of stereotyped. Like, you got Maria there to kind of balance it out a little bit. Not
Yeah,
every, but you know, and then you know, they drop off that van in the black neighborhood and all the black
sure.
gang comes and takes it all apart, you know.
But to be fair, like really nobody in this film is portrayed in a positive light. Everybody's got a little dirt under their fingernails.
Yep. Yeah. So it's not I mean, look, I'm not faulting it. I like it. I like the movie. I'm just saying I understand. I see where they're coming from. I get it. But this movie, it cost $6.5 million to make. Guess what the box office take in was for this movie in North America?
Cool. I don't know.
Guess how much this movie made?
I'm gonna say half.
So you're gonna say $3.25 million?
Sure.
Okay. It made $55,000. Yeah.
Oh, oh my.
So
I was gonna
apparently,
say it must have bombed because there's been no demand for this film to be put out for so long.
it had very limited distribution and very weak promotion. It just, I don't know, for whatever reason, the movie studio decided that it wasn't worth putting in more money to promote it, and it just kind of fizzled out at the theater. Now, where it did gain popularity, I didn't see it too much here in my research here, but from reviews that I've read on Letterboxd and on Reddit and stuff like that, where a lot of people, from my understanding, where they found about this movie is through HBO. Apparently, it got a lot of.
That's what was mentioned on the commentary.
Oh,
That's
okay,
where the, most people had seen it and knew it
yeah,
from it. That it was in like regular rotation,
yeah.
but
When HBO
yeah.
was newer, and it was just one of those movies that they would play often. So that's kind of, I guess, where it got its cult status.
Mhm.
Thankfully, because I don't think even we would have found this movie if it wasn't for that.
No, no.
So there we go. That is pretty much that movie in a
Mhm.
nutshell. You got anything else you want to say about
Well,
it?
the one thing that I took away from it is at the end of the film, I realized this reminds me a lot of Pee Wee's Big Adventure, in that Pee Wee is searching for the
Okay.
thing he treasures the most that was stolen from him.
Mhm.
and then he interacts with a variety of colorful,
Characters.
quirky characters on
Yeah.
his way to retrieve his bike. And Pee-wee's Big Adventure came out in 1985. This was 1980. I wonder if it's actually somewhat of an inspiration, because at the end of Pee-wee's Big Adventure, who plays PW in the movie version? It's Josh Brolin.
Wow. Wow. So you think this movie was that much of an influence
I
on
think there might have been a little influence there. I don't know for sure because Josh Brolin was a, well-known television actor. So it could be pure coincidence, and Pee-wee's Big Adventure might be, just your standard road movie influence. But for anyone who hasn't seen this, most people have probably seen Pee-wee. That's how this movie feels. Just imagine it filthy and disgusting and violent
and sleazy. A
and
little bit of
sleazy.
sleaze. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I had not heard of this movie at all. This was Richard's recommendation, and you did a good job. So, I had a lot of fun watching it. Sarah loved it. She watched it
Hmm.
with me. She gave it 5 stars. She went all the way up to
Nice.
5. I did give it 4 stars.
Mm.
I did find that uh, some of the exposition was a little forced, if I could say,
Mhm.
when Dan Hedaya and Josh Brolin meet and they start getting into a fight. It kind of felt a little comic booky as they were giving their backstory as they're slugging
Sure.
it out in this room, you know.
Yeah. Well, I think it's kind of a necessary sloppiness because they have such limited time.
I
You got to get
agree.
that stuff out.
This movie is set at a frantic pace. They do
Mhm.
not waste any time sitting around giving too much backstory. Every and I think that's why you appreciate it, because you like to say that you hate it when a game or a movie or any sort of media like this wastes your time. Quit wasting my time. And this movie definitely does not waste your time at any moment.
No, and
It,
it's 101 minutes, and it flies by.
yeah, it's paced very well. Uh,
It's paced so well that you forget about some of the characters, and then when you're reminded of them, you're like, "Oh, how could I have forgotten? It was such a great moment," because it's just always on to something new.
yeah,
Everybody's got their 30 seconds to a minute, and then it's like, "Oh, now that I'm on to this next
yeah,
thing, it's great."
yeah. Sarah, geez, I can't remember exactly what it was, but at some point, Clemenza comes back into the movie, and she was like, why is he like so involved in this or that? I'm like, he's the lieutenant in charge of it. Don't you remember? Like, oh yeah, yeah. But it only happened like 20 minutes ago, but so much happened in the movie. It felt like
Sure.
forever ago. Uh
He's got a great little moment when he goes to a frozen yogurt stand. It has
yes,
has nothing to do with anything, but it does actually tie in because he's got a little subplot where he's preparing for his daughter's wedding,
right. Yeah.
and it's just like a, father-daughter bond thing. Thematically, it fits, and but
I
he's
th-
just fantastic every scene he's in.
I thought that was great because that was kind of showing how um that gave you a gauge on how serious he was taking things, right?
Yeah,
Because he
very
was
true.
he was constantly have it had this on the go as well too. So this was kind of like, it was interesting because like you're watching all this stuff, you're thinking, oh man, this is all crazy, and this was just like another thing on his desk that he had to do, you
Mhm.
know, had to clear it out. So he had to do that, and he's having to deal with his daughter's wedding and all that. And I thought, so yeah, he goes into this frozen yogurt store and he starts interrogating the guy that owns the place, because his daughter is planning on marrying a guy who wants to get into the frozen yogurt business.
Mhm.
And the direction I thought that scene was going, I thought the guy behind the counter was the guy that his
Oh,
daughter
right.
was going to marry, right? Because he sarcastically says, like, does he have a mustache and is he this and that, and the other.
Mhm.
And then so that sarcasm was kind of like, I wasn't sure how sarcastic that was. But then yeah, eventually that was just a guy he was grilling anyways. But yeah, he had a lot of really good scenes in it. He was almost the comic relief of the movie in a way, but not
Yeah,
quite.
but
He's like halfway
without
there.
being annoying. It's a
Oh
very
yeah.
natural. That's just pure personality.
Yeah. But I could see like this is a movie that, like I said, I gave it 4 stars. I could see myself. It's like that Leslie Nielsen thing, right? You just like every time you watch it, you just remember all the good parts and you want to get to the good parts, and those are the parts that kind of stick out. So this is probably the kind of movie that will grow on me even more with more rewatches.
It definitely falls into that comfort film category. You just throw
Yeah,
this on and just have a good
yeah.
time.
That's what I liked about it too. Is just like I had been watching a lot of the Oscar nominated films lately, and some of them have some of them are just stupid, but some of them have some complex plots and whatnot. And this was just like straight up, you know,
That's it.
a simple story with a lot of action, and it wasn't stupid. It wasn't insulting to you as like that wouldn't happen. This is so stupid. This is so dumb. It all fell within realism, like with all the car stunts and all
Yeah,
that. Like sure they're not wearing their seatbelts and all that stuff, and it's a movie, and I get it. There's like not everything's
sure.
100%.
There's some heightened reality there. I
Sure,
mean, Dan
but it's
O'Hare
not.
with the in the dog pen kind of thing. It's like it's a little stretch, but
Yeah,
hey, that's
yeah,
fun.
yeah. But none of it was like just like I had to suspend so much disbelief.
You didn't get a Fast and the Furious like
No,
cars
no.
smashing through buildings and stuff like
Cars
that.
going like driving through the Arctic Circle and whatnot. Okay. Would you recommend this film today? I think we both just did. So there you go.
Sure would. There is one part I was curious if you noticed. There's when Soltic has the girl
Yeah.
and he's taking her back to his place. They're in this pile of rubble. She starts to run, and there's one shot where I noticed it when I first saw it, and then the second time I watched it, I was like, "Did I really see that?" And I saw it again. There's one scene where she's running and he's just standing there on the
Hmm.
left side of the screen, and it almost looks like and action, and then he suddenly starts moving.
Oh,
I'm
baby. Yeah.
wondering if that was a sloppy shot, or I wasn't sure if it was like he was toying with her and holding back, but it kind of looks like they didn't mean to have that shot in the film. But
I didn't catch that, but my feeling with that area, with all the
Mhm,
rubble and everything, was that was his domain, right?
mhm.
So anywhere that she went, he had her covered, kind of thing. Like she went into that building, and there was the hobo or the wino. He was
Right.
drinking wine, and and he was just kind of like, yeah, let her deal with this wino for a little bit, and then I'll come in and save her, kind
It
of thing.
kinda has a little bit of that, but yeah, next time you watch it,
But
just be aware
you're
of that
probably
and
right.
let me know what you think.
You're probably right. But yeah, that was my feeling anyways with that area, is that because I like there are times where it's just like, why didn't she just like, but she's a stupid girl. That's pretty much it. Like
Well, that's the
kick
one
him
thing you
and
can
yeah.
why didn't anybody say anything during that first chase? She could have
Well,
fallen on the
see,
ground, said
yeah.
something.
Well,
Why
see
didn't,
that
Boyd just shout out and say, "Hey, stop that guy"?
that to me was part of New York, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
that
yeah.
scene in Ghostbusters. I bring everything back to Ghostbusters, where Louis Tully is being chased by terror dogs,
Yes, yes.
and everybody in the film has a way of reasoning what they just saw. It was a bear in his apartment. I think someone else says it was a cougar. And then he runs up to that tavern on the green restaurant,
Mhm.
the highfalutin restaurant in the park, and he's like banging on the glass and all that, and everybody stops and looks at him. And then once he stops, they go back to eating.
Mhm.
So that to me was like part of New York. Like someone just gets picked
It
up and dragged, and everyone's just like,
kind
I don't
of.
want to deal with that.
There's a similar scene in Gremlins 2 when Mr. Futterman's messing around with the Bat Gremlin. Everybody's just
Yeah,
walking by.
right. Yeah, exactly. Nobody wants to deal with it. So like
That
today
that
it's different.
again,
Today it's different. I
Sure,
think
yeah, there'd be
everybody is
a
like
thousand cell phones out.
exactly. Exactly. Everyone's waiting to get to strike it on the socials. So everybody would be interjecting themselves into it. But 1970s, I think just people kept their head down. They
I
continued
got my
jogging
own
or
stuff
whatever.
to deal with. Yeah. A lot of
Exactly. I don't
jogging.
lots of jogging in this movie. Must have been big.
Mm.
Okay, so there it is. That's Night of the Juggler. No juggling
Not in juggling.
in the movie though. I was a little disappointed.
Now,
No
about
juggling.
halfway through, you get the reasoning for the title.
I know, yeah, but still, put juggler in the title. A little bit of juggling.
Yep.
Come on.
It's good stuff.
So for our next episode, if you only watch us once in a while, and this is the episode you chose, you made a mistake. You made a mistake. This was not the episode to watch. The episode to watch is next episode for next month because we have a tentative plan. Hopefully, if everything works out, we have a tentative plan, and we are going to be doing the Island of Dr. Monroe, the 1990s. Morrow? Not Monroe.
Not
Morrow.
Maryland.
Morrow. Okay.
Moreau.
I don't know. I don't know how to spell it. I spelled it Monroe here. Monroe. So I don't know much about this movie. I just know that it is a complete disaster. We're talking about the 1990s version with Marlon Brando and Val Kilmer. But we won't be talking about that movie as much as the documentary. I think it's called Lost Souls, or is that I'm thinking of the wrong? Or am I thinking
that's what you wrote?
Okay, I think it's called Lost Souls. I might be thinking of the Evil Dead one. Anyways, there's a documentary that came out about 15 years ago, about this movie. And apparently it was a complete disaster behind the scenes. And this documentary pulls back the curtains for that. So that's what we'll be doing for the next episode with a special guest. We will have a special guest. We have Duke from Retro Nonsense coming back to the show. First time we've had a guest in, I'm going to say, years?
Yeah, well, I mean...
I know we had Sauce on. We had Sauce on for an episode, but I can't remember.
Ryan pipes in here and there.
Yeah.
Actually sitting down. Maybe he was the last person.
Yeah, definitely he was the last person. But was that before or after the pandemic? I don't know. I really don't know. I think it's since I moved here in 2022. I don't think we've had a guest on. I could be wrong. I don't know. But yeah, we're gonna have Duke from Retro Nonsense. We're gonna catch up with Duke as well. We haven't spoken to him in little chats here and there, like Merry Christmas and that kind of stuff. But haven't spoken to him in a while. I'm hoping to ask him some questions about the state of the world. I hope he's okay with me asking some questions because I don't really get to talk to too many Americans like I used to. Like Richard's an American, but he doesn't know what the heck's going on. He's in Japan. He's just saying, thank God I don't have to be over there dealing with that stuff. So I'm wondering how he's doing with all that stuff. So maybe he'll let us ask some questions about that. But that sounds like that's always a road I wanted to go down. I want to watch that movie and then watch that documentary since it came out. And it's just one of those things that's been on the back burner. And this seemed like a good excuse to get to it. Because
it's a good choice because it seems like none of us have seen it. So perfect. Yeah. Everybody goes in cold.
Well, hopefully it works out because sometimes that backfires, right? None of us have seen it. And like if one of us would have watched that before, we never would have done this. We would have never not did this. But yeah, I think it'll be fun. So there you go. That's what's going on for the next one. Okay. Now to the fun part of the show.
And the rest.
What do you got?
I have so many things, so I don't know. Do you want to go first?
Is this the Professor and Mary Ann of the show and the rest?
Yeah.
You know what? I just have. I got a little. Well, I really just have one thing to talk about. So maybe I'll talk about my one thing, and then you can take over the show.
Okay.
But my one thing is library of things, a mini library.
All right.
So I have not been the biggest fan of Quentin Tarantino. I know that's really bad to say for any movie buff. Every movie buff loves Quentin Tarantino, but I'm one of those guys that just, I don't know. I love Jackie Brown. I think that's the best movie he has made. It's also a movie that he didn't really write. It was written by Elmore Leonard. And then, Pulp Fiction, I like about half of it. And Reservoir Dogs is okay too. I don't mind Reservoir Dogs at all. But anything that's happened past that, I've tried here and there to dip into a few things. I watched his last one, Once Upon a Time in America. I think that's what it's called. The last one he did. I liked it up until the end where it just got stupid. There's a bunch of movies in between though that I have not seen or have not watched. So my buddy Frank is a fan, and I went and I borrowed several of Quentin Tarantino's movies. And while I was sick, lying on the couch, I finally got to some of these monster marathon movies because they're all almost 3 hours long.
That's the one thing I really like about Reservoir Dogs. It's like 90 minutes.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Death Proof is a shorter film as well. But if you watch it bundled in with the Grindhouse. Yeah, I think so. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
It sure feels like it's 4 hours.
No, I think it is 90. Yeah, it is about 90 minutes, or at least an hour 40. Oh, it's an hour and 53 minutes long. I don't know if they tacked on any of those trailers,
the fake trailers and stuff like that.
Because so here we go. I ended up watching Kill Bill volumes 1 and 2. Then I watched. So I didn't watch Death Proof. I had seen Death Proof before a long time ago, back when I was working at Bell Express View, and I watched it on a little 14-inch monitor. That was an old satellite company, and we used to run movies on there. I didn't really watch. I didn't really watch Death Proof though. I watched Grindhouse. I actually downloaded Grindhouse, and so I watched it packaged in with the Rodriguez film. I just watched it. Girl with a machine gun leg.
Yeah, Planet Terror.
Planet Terror. There you go. I watched that one, and then I watched Inglourious Bastards. Okay, so I watched the Kill Bills 1 and 2, Grindhouse, and Inglourious Bastards. Richard, I have a question for you.
Okay.
I enjoyed one of these films. Which one out of all these movies do you think I enjoyed?
Well, Well, it's not going to be Kill Bill. I've seen the first Kill Bill. I've never seen the second part.
The Kill Bill volumes 1 and 2 are different movies. I will say they are.
Are they?
Almost extremely different. Almost.
Okay, because I saw the first one in the theater, and then I was like, I don't know if I really care enough to see the second one. So I've still never seen it. Right. Death Proof is that 70s. It's everything. All of those terrible 70s movies about the terrible pacing and talking too much and nothing happens. It's got all of that in there. So I don't know. There's some part of you that might be twisted enough to enjoy that. I actually remember enjoying Inglourious Bastards. That's the one that I think I would go back to. So I'm going to say that.
You would be 100% correct.
Yay.
Okay. So, yeah, Kill Bill 1 and 2. Look, these movies, listen, Kill Bills and the Grindhouse, I don't know. It feels like as if Quentin Tarantino was making movies with his boner. You got a lot of bare feet and a lot of
he
girls
loves those bare feet.
Yeah, just tons of bare feet. It's like there's too much bare feet in these movies. Just really dumb, immature dialogue. I could not stand a lot of it. I did really enjoy the a lot of the car sequences in Death Proof, like all the car chases and all that. He does get like really good people in the business to work on his films, so I appreciated that. I appreciated a lot of the stunt work and the choreography and everything like that in Kill Bill. I thought that was very well done. But at the end of the day, they're just poorly written films. I know that they're intentionally poorly written. I know that he's doing this as an homage to the stuff that he liked, the B movie stuff that he liked, and he's
Sure.
making like an homage to the B movie stuff. But at the end of the day, it's just like poorly written. Like Kill Bill, both Kill Bill 1 and 2, he gives away the ending within like the first couple of minutes of the film. The guy that she is chasing, or the person on her list that she's chasing throughout most of the film, because he does things out of order, like that person's crossed off the list, right? She's going on number 2 on the list, and you can already see that number 1's crossed off, so you already know what happens, and that's the climax of the first movie. And then the second movie, I mean, like there's this, they go on through this. I don't want to really give too much away because I know people haven't
I
seen it, like
will.
Richard.
Yeah, I do want to watch it at some point, but I don't know.
I'll,
I'm with you. I don't. Some people just, as soon as they hear Tarantino, they go nuts and like, "Ooh, he's perfect. He's brilliant." Some of his stuff is really good. Other parts are just kind of like strange. And yeah, I don't know. The homage stuff feels like you can approach that with the attitude of I'm going to improve upon this or take what I like and, make it really interesting. But like
yeah,
that Death Proof movie, I just don't get it.
it was really, yeah, like they do, like it was almost like the same movie twice.
Yeah,
There's a bunch of girls, they're promiscuous, they're having all these discussions, like the hitman in Reservoir Dogs, when they're talking about pulp culture and all that stuff. And then that absolutely goes nowhere when Kurt Russell just wipes them all out. And then we go through the whole thing again with another group of girls. And, whether they're successful or not, do you want me to
yeah.
spoil it? I don't know, whatever.
I don't know. I mean, I kind of see again, it's like you can see the second group as like
Mhm.
they're being reborn, and that now they're the tough ones. But
Well, yeah, like you're establishing how dangerous Kurt Russell is, that he could just wipe out. But do you need to go on that long with the first group? Like you could just,
exactly, it just
right?
it,
Yeah.
this movie needed to be 87 minutes.
It's like he loves himself so much, that he just keeps putting everything in there, including the kitchen sink.
And some of
Um,
the dialogue, the girl
lo-
sitting there, and she's got that long thing of like a guy who's not too weird but kind of weird, and I don't know.
I would say
It
more than
just
some of the dialogue. All of the dialogue was
it's very
pretty bad.
overindulgent.
Yeah. But like I said, there are parts of it that I do enjoy, and I see the appeal of those parts of it. Like, there was some wire foo in the Kill Bills that made me cringe a little bit, but a lot of the choreography was really spot on and really well done. Like there's one scene where Uma Thurman is fighting like 100 uh, assassins, right? They're all after her, and every time you see that in a film, um, you see the guys, like she'll fight like 2 at a time, and the other guys are just standing there waiting to get in, right?
Yeah.
It's like if they all attacked her at the same time, she'd be dead. This was like I didn't get that sense in this movie. It was like it constantly flowed in that. And it was like I appreciated that, but at the end of the day, I'm sitting through this stupid story, and I just can't wait for it to be done.
Hmm.
But okay, so then we get to Inglorious Bastards, and this movie I felt like Quentin Tarantino finally grew up. He finally made a movie that was a little more mature. The first time I tried to watch this, it came out in 2009. So I probably watched it around 2010. And Sarah and I had just watched like a massive documentary, like a 4-part, 6 hours worth documentary on PBS about Auschwitz. And they went into
Okay.
every detail about Auschwitz and how terrible it was. And, the people, like, they would call this one part of the Auschwitz, the Jewish people, and that would call this one part of the camp Canada, because they just wanted to go, they all wanted to go to, like, it was a little nicer in this part, like you got a little less labor in that. And that was to them, that was like they escaped and made it to Canada. It's just like kind of like hits you in the heart here, because you just want to go in and save them and bring them all to Canada. And it was just really heartbreaking. And to when we started Inglorious Bastards, and it just was not the time or place to watch a movie like this, because it was, you felt bad. You felt bad that, because the opening scene of of Inglorious Bastards is so powerful. Christoph Waltz. He wasn't really on my radar before. I really knew him as the guy who took over for Blofeld in the James Bond films. But I know that people kept going on about him, and I was just like, I don't know. But I finally get it. I saw him in this movie, and I was like, holy crap! Yes, he is an incredible villain in this movie. And that opening scene is so effective, and the way that he flows in between different languages, like seamlessly, like English, French, German, boom, and Italian even, like he just does it all so seamlessly. Comes off as a really nasty bad guy, really nasty villain. And watch that after all that Auschwitz stuff wasn't. So now that I'm separated, I'm like 15 years. That was 15 years ago. So I can kind of sit with it. I can deal with a movie like this now. And I thought it was really well done. It was really great. And I do feel like as if he did write himself into a corner a little bit with the historical accuracy, because spoiler alert for this movie that's getting on to 20 years old. I apologize for spoiling it for you, but I mean, believe it or not, Adolf Hitler was not murdered in a movie theater. Believe that or not. So it feels like he kind of wrote himself into a corner for the ending and just kind of said, screw it, screw historical accuracy. I'm just going to go with so that part kind of like didn't sit too well with me, but the rest of it was fairly well done. I enjoyed it.
It may not be accurate, but it was sure. It sure felt good.
Yeah.
That's one shot where you forgive him for lingering and just defying physics of how bodies would constantly stand under all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, and even all the performances and that, I found like Brad Pitt's performance. I don't know if he was doing it on purpose or not, but it was very like cartoony. I don't know. I'm guessing he did. I'm guessing he did that on purpose, but and then I don't know. The ending itself, I wasn't too thrilled with, but the journey to get there was very well done. So I am looking forward. He did like a couple of westerns, Hateful Eight and Django. So
Django Unchained.
Yeah. So those are the next two that I'm going to watch. Of course, they're 3-hour sits as well, but there you go.
I believe I would say you've peaked.
I don't want to hear that.
Well, I'm just. Yeah.
I'm hoping that the westerns are decent. Like I said, Once Upon a Time in America. There are parts of that movie that I really enjoyed. I enjoyed most of the journey, but that ending was just so stupid. I just couldn't.
Hollywood.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's right.
Once Upon a Time in America. Once Upon a Times now.
Once Upon a Time in America is the Robert De Niro movie. But anyways, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is like it annoys me because like I love whoop. Losing my mic here. I love. That was my kung fu move. I love kung fu movies, and this is like an homage to all those kung fu movies I love, and I love the stunts and all that. Death Proof. All the ladies were stunt ladies. The Kurt Russell was in the stunt vehicle and all that stuff. I dig that. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's basically it was Burt Reynolds and his relationship with his director there. I'm blanking on the name right now, but his stunt friend slash director who directed Smokey and the Bandit and all that stuff. Like that was like
Hal Needham.
Hal Needham. That's right. Yeah, it was like that was their relationship between who was it? It was Brad Pitt and who's the other guy in that movie?
DiCaprio.
DiCaprio. So those two, that was their relationship. Like he kind of took inspiration from that, and I love all that stuff. But then when it comes to the end of the day with the execution, it's just like,
I haven't seen it. Don't spoil everything for me.
I mean, most people love it, right? You go to Rotten Tomatoes and they're all in the 90s and people love them and they post the GIFs and all the movie buffs. They got posters of them. They love these movies. And I wish I could be part of that. I desperately wish I could.
You just enjoy what you enjoy.
But you know what I mean? It's like everybody else enjoys it. I wish I could see what they see. I wish I could enjoy it as well, to the level that they do, But, yeah.
Just enjoy what you enjoy. That's it.
Okay.
So I like this part of the movie. This part of the movie, not so much.
Okay. So that's it. That's all I'm going to say about Quentin Tarantino until I watch the other two movies and rip those to shred as well.
I look forward to it.
Well, I saw the thing. It was like, like toxic negativity, right? Like people are like, if they hate something, like they hate the new Star Trek, and they're going out of their way to go on Robert Picardo's social media and cut him down for being in the new Star Trek and all that stuff. That's like toxic negativity. But what I get mostly is toxic positivity, where people like it more than you do, and they're upset with you because you don't like it as much as they do.
Oh yeah, that was part of the whole retro gaming thing when we started this.
Absolutely.
You want to let's play a video game. You like old? Yeah, I like old video games too. You like this game? Sure. I like it more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Look, what's wrong with you?
In the box.
You don't love it? What's wrong with you? You don't just blindly follow Nintendo with everything that they do? What's wrong with you?
Boy. What's wrong with you? Hey, what's wrong with you? I brought these just because I thought it would annoy you. Let's do some toxic things.
Can't wait to be annoyed.
What I've learned from you recently is you're not a fan of the John Wayne.
Oh.
Where's your toxic hatred now?
Oh, okay. I do have toxic hatred for that.
I'm just curious. Is it John Wayne the person, John Wayne the performance, John Wayne the kind of quote unquote legend figure that's constantly referenced, and Radar O'Reilly given his impression and stuff like that? Or is it the actual films?
I am able to separate the actor from the art. Not necessarily like I'll give you an example, like Mel Gibson, right? Mel Gibson's a turd. I could still watch Lethal Weapon movies. I could still watch Mad Max movies. I enjoy them. I enjoy his performances in them. I won't go and support anything new that he does, but I am able to separate the man from the art. So when it comes to John Wayne, I understand that he was a homophobe and a bigot and all that stuff. But if his movies are good, I am able to separate the man and the art. What I don't like about him is, and Clint Eastwood has this as well, but the difference between John Wayne and Clint Eastwood is Clint Eastwood has like that anti-hero thing, like the Dirty Harry movies. That's the appeal to me. Like one of my favorite Westerns of all time is a movie called High Noon with Gary Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
And what I like about it is that Gary Cooper, he's the bad guy is going to come into the town at high noon. He's going to have a shootout with Gary Cooper, and Gary Cooper is conflicted on what to do. Should he stay and fight? Should he run? Should he go with his wife and go live thing and forget this guy, or should he save the town? Like, what should he do? There's so many different things that he could do. John Wayne refused to do this movie because it was un-American. Because this guy doesn't know what he wants to do. That's un-American. American just knows what he wants to do. That's what I can't stand about John Wayne. It's that larger, that like he's just a big, arrogant blowhard that just comes in and nobody can tell him anything. He knows what's best, doesn't need to learn anything. He's just perfect. And it's like, screw you, John Wayne, because he's a piece of shit. I can't stand him. He's like, just like, he's like, I understand why Americans love him. They keep voting for people like, like I get it. But for me, that is the part that I can't stand, is that he just thinks his shit doesn't stink.
Okay, I know nothing about the man himself. All I know is I've seen a couple of movies that I've enjoyed, and one that I watched recently was The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance with Jimmy Stewart and John Wayne,
Yeah.
and it was really good.
I might
And
like that one
you
because
know,
I do like Jimmy Stewart, but I don't know.
well, I'll say what you've said about John Wayne is absolutely true about his character in this movie,
Yeah.
but the
That's the only character he played. He didn't play anything else.
yeah, he does. It's kind of like Humphrey Bogart. He kind of has
Mm,
like he's good at that one thing, and he kind
yeah.
of repeats that same thing over and over.
Bogey did Bad Guys though, and he played in the mutiny on the Kane mutiny, whatever where he played the boat captain that was a
Oh, is that
little
the Legend of the
no no
Sierra
no
Madre
no no
boat?
no that was no not that was a different no Kane Mutiny, is that what the heck it was called? He plays this boat captain who's really unsure of himself and doesn't know what the heck to do, and is a little crazy,
Okay.
and starts giving really bad commands. And there's going to be a mutiny on the boat, so he would. I get it, yeah. Not like 80% of the time he would play that character, kind of like Bill Murray, where just Bill Murray plays
Mhm.
Bill Murray. But there are those times where he does pull a What About Bob or Rushmore or something like that.
Okay. Well, I would say you might enjoy this one because the whole point is that guys like John Wayne need to step aside for guys like Jimmy Stewart.
I can't imagine John Wayne would do a movie like that. I can't imagine it. There's got
I
to be something up.
but
I'll
he
check it out.
he is the character who he is,
Mm.
but I don't know
All right,
if you're ever tempted.
all right.
A couple of things that I picked up. We were talking about doing Charlie Chaplin, which I guess
Yes,
is still in the works down the
it's in the
line. But
works.
I did watch one that I hadn't seen before, City Lights, and boy, this was really good. Have you ever seen City Lights?
Here's the confession: I have never seen a Charlie Chaplin film.
What? At the end of this movie, like without giving anything away, I was getting emotional.
Mm.
This has such a great ending, which I won't say anything about. It's just if you ever watch Charlie Chaplin, I've seen Modern Times, I've seen The Great Dictator, I've now seen City Lights. I think that's it. I've enjoyed them all.
I've seen Abe
Um,
Simpson do the potato thing. So that's it.
I've never seen the potato thing. I don't know what movie that's from. There's another
I
one
don't know.
called The Kid that is pretty well respected.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
So, yeah. One thing I had heard of but had never seen before was Mr. Bean. I
Oh,
found a
okay.
couple of Mr. Bean DVDs and I was like,
Oh,
"Oh, I'll try those out."
you've never seen the
I've
show, Mr. Bean?
I've never seen the show Mr. Bean.
You're in
So
for a
this
treat.
has a couple of highlighted episodes and I immediately was like, "This is fantastic. This guy is brilliant."
Oh, you
I
so you
didn't
watched
I
it?
didn't I watched this one had what? Mr. Bean, Goodnight Mr. Bean, Mind the Baby Mr. Bean. I don't know if that means anything to you, but a couple of episodes and then like a highlight reel of some of the
Okay.
big moments. But yeah, I didn't know anything about the character. I thought he was silent, but he does speak in like
Yeah.
gibberish here and there.
Yeah.
But it really is, you can tell everything physically
Yeah.
what's going on. It's
Mr.
good stuff.
Bean is one of those pieces of entertainment. I when I remember when I was 14 years old, and I remember the scene that I saw
Mm,
because it was so effective. That was I don't know if you've seen it, but he's at a restaurant, a fancy French restaurant, and he
mhm.
orders a steak, but he doesn't realize he ordered steak tartare, which is like
Okay.
raw ground beef with an egg cracked in it. And like he gets this thing and he doesn't know what to do with it. And he's just like he's taking pieces of it and he's putting it like under his plate. He's putting it, he sees a lady, puts a little thing in her purse. It was so funny. I'm like, what the hell is this show? And yeah, I've been a fan ever since.
Oh, it's fantastic stuff. One that really got me is he's in the park and he's make some guy sitting there on a park bench having his lunch, having a sandwich. He sits down, he starts pulling out all the ingredients to make a
Oh,
sandwich out of his coat, and
yeah.
he's like cutting the bread with scissors. He's pulling fish out of his pocket and killing them by smacking them against the bench. And,
Yeah. Have you
eh,
seen, is
great
a
stuff.
Christmas one? Is a Christmas one there?
I don't remember a Christmas
No.
one.
Okay. That's one that
No.
yeah, we watch every Christmas. It was Merry Christmas, Mr. Bean with his
Okay.
Christmas socks. Christmas
I'll have to
socks.
I'll have to look into it. Another thing that I had never seen before, Misery.
Oh my goodness. You're not going to believe this. I am
Yeah.
rereading Misery right now.
Really?
Yes, because so Rob Reiner passed away.
Yes.
And Sarah and I were like revisiting our favorite Rob Reiner movies, our favorite, anniversary movie and all that, When Harry Met Sally. So we were like,
Mhm.
oh, let's revisit some movies that we have not watched in a long time. And Sarah confessed to me that she had seen the movie Misery way back when, but she's never read the book. And I'm like,
Mhm.
you got to read that book before we watch that movie. So she's read the book, and I am just getting to the book right now. And then once I finish the book, we're going to rewatch the movie. But yeah, that is triple A Stephen King, and the movie adaptation is excellent as well.
Is it is there a lot missing? Like is a lot more in
I,
the book that didn't get it to the film?
I don't remember. I
Okay.
don't. It's been such a long time since I've seen the movie. I remember things in the movie that are not in the book so far. So uh,
Okay.
yeah, and I can't remember exactly how different they are, but the book is such a great. Like Stephen King is notorious for going off in tangents and
Mhm.
wasting the reader's time. Even though I love it because it's all like character development and all that stuff. But Misery's right into it, boom, and it just does not let you go until the end.
That's nice. That at least from the film, I can say it just starts and then you're already in it. It's
Yeah,
great. I've still got a lot more, so I don't know how much you want to hear.
let's go.
All right. I'll do okay. I'll mention this first. I did go to the movies, the actual movie theater. I
I'm
saw
jealous.
that new Sam Raimi movie,
Oh, I
which
was
I
gonna go
guess
see
is a
that.
few months old now. The Send Help movie.
Yeah.
It's worth a view. Um, there's one thing I want to say that I won't say because as soon as I say it, I'm going to spoil something. But
All right.
it's the first comment you're going to have after watching the movie. That's the
Okay.
comment that I'm not saying right now. But it's
Okay.
worth a watch. I'll say that.
We well,
It's good Sam
so
Raimi.
we had made plans to go see that with my buddy Frank, and it was a
Uh,
big snowstorm that night. It was a Tuesday night, and we were going to do it. Big snowstorm, and then we never got back to it. We're sitting in another
okay.
snowstorm right now, by the way. It just does not seem to. This winter has just not been nothing but snow. It's been ridiculous.
Mm. Well, after you watch it, the first thought that goes through your head, that's what I'm thinking right now.
Okay.
I also went to see a movie called Rental Family with Brendan Fraser. I don't know if that was a big release.
I don't know this movie at all.
It's about a guy in Japan who um, gets a job. He's an actor, and he gets a job working at this company that rents people to pretend to be family members or friends or things like that. And
Hmm.
it's okay. It's okay.
Hmm.
It's got some parts I like. It's got some parts I didn't like. It's okay.
Hmm. All right.
Um, speaking of Star Trek, I'll just bring this to your attention. I'm currently still working through Next Gen. I'm on season 4. And I just happened to find out that there is a new podcast called Dropping Names with Brent and Johnny.
Oh, right. Yeah. Brent
Brent
Spiner
Spiner and
and
Jonathan
John
Frakes.
Frakes. That's right. They do have a
They've
podcast. Yeah.
they've got a new podcast. I listened to a couple of episodes. It's okay. It's not a Star Trek podcast, but it comes up all the time. And the first person they had on was LeVar Burton. Um, it's just them dropping names, talking about who have you worked with, who have you. I did a play with this person. I met this person. I grew up with this person, and it's okay if you're interested in listening to them talk.
Sure. I am. I saw this thing. It was another podcast I was discussing this. And I wonder what your thoughts are on this, because they were talking about how Star Trek actors don't really go on to do anything else. They're pretty much typecast, or they're saw or thought of as Star Trek actors. Now there are
Well,
some
it's
exceptions.
it's kind of true. I mean, I think that's just people have known that for a long time. I think the thing is they never usually go on to anything as successful or as big or as recognizable. They do lots of other things. Like Jonathan Frakes was a director, so he had directed a number of movies and
Yeah.
television shows. So he's got a career. He's just not on camera, and Brent Spiner does a lot of like stage shows and things like that.
Yeah.
It's just you're never going to see him on screen as recognizable as Data.
See, like Brett Spiner, I think is the best example, because when he was like, red hot, I think, for the next generation and what he was going to do next. And he did have some roles in some comedies. It looked like he was going to be going down that road, but then the comedies he was in kind of tanked.
Yeah, he was in. I haven't seen these movies, but I know he was in Out to Sea
Right.
with Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then he was in The Master of Disguise with
Right.
Dana Carvey.
Right. Big two, like some flops there,
Yeah,
basically. Because, like you think Jack Lemmon, Walter Matthau, they were coming off the Grumpy Old Men movies. So you'd think anything they did would be good. And then Dana Carvey was, off the Wayne's World movies. So you'd think that he would have a huge hit on his hands. But yeah, like he just didn't, he kind of fizzled. And then even the actors who do, like they brought up Patrick Stewart and how Patrick Stewart does other things. But I seriously think for Patrick Stewart, really the only other thing he did was Professor X. And
pretty much. He's had a couple of other roles. He was in that
a Green
Green
Room.
Room.
Yeah,
movie,
like
yeah.
a few things here and there. Like I said, there are some but like they don't go on to be like huge stars on in other media. Like really, like I think the only reason he got that Professor X, like he's a great actor. Don't get me wrong. So A, he's a good actor, and B, he looks like the professor, right?
He's
So
just kind of typecast, yeah.
right. So he has that going for him. But even like, Shatner would just kind of rebrand himself into other projects that he would be in charge of, like the TJ Hooker and the Tech War and stuff like that. Leonard Nimoy, great actor, didn't really get like, a few things here and there. I think he was in Fringe, which is a show I still really want to watch, but people tell me not to. And he's In Search Of and stuff like that. But I like, you think like if you're Leonard Nimoy, and he did direct, like he directed Star Trek 3 and 4, which were, Star Trek 4 was a huge hit, and he did get other chances to do. He did Three Men and a Baby
and stuff like that.
Yeah. Did a movie with Gene Wilder, which I hadn't seen, but they didn't do like Three Men and a Baby did well, but the movie that he did with Gene Wilder didn't really do that well, and he might have got another chance that I can't think of off the top of my head. But it's interesting, like how they don't, like, even the examples that they were bringing up, like Patrick Stewart, who they said was successful outside of Star Trek. I seriously think, just if it weren't for Professor X, I don't know if you could actually say that.
It depends on what your level of success is, and I guess they're rating it by, are you in lots of big Hollywood movies? Are you constantly appearing in that? But they do. There's a lot of work outside of that. they are doing other things, and for a lot of them, you just have to accept that they're working actors that fell into a really lucrative,
I
position with
suppose
getting a Star Trek role.
I'll give you a here like okay, you have the X-Men series, you got Hugh Jackman, right? Who's in a little
Mhm.
bit of trouble right now because he hangs out with Ivanka Trump. But anyways, you got Hugh Jackman, who can be a leading man in romantic comedies and other action
Mhm.
films and all that. Star Wars, you got Harrison Ford, huge actor, right?
Mhm.
What's that? The Marvel movies have a bunch of. I mean, they had tons of money to bring in big actors and
Mhm.
that before, but I think with Star Trek, it just doesn't seem to like transcend into big time Hollywood. Like you have like LeVar Burton, for instance. Well, he, a lot of people see him as the guy from Roots, right? Like the generation
Mhm.
before us, they don't see him as a Star Trek
Right.
guy, and so he already had that. He had Reading Rainbow. He was like kind of one of the bigger names in the next generation. Same with Will Wheaton,
Mhm.
um, uh, who else? Who am I forgetting? Robert Picardo, right? He was on China Beach and Inner
Oh, sure.
Space, and so he had like that um, career already before Star Trek. So
Mhm.
he has that career, does Star Trek, goes back to that career. Whereas
Yeah. Mhm.
you don't see like Ensign Kim going on to even having a career as good
Right.
as Robert Picardo. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's
Maybe
the
Jerry
fact
Ryan.
that the
She did a few things too, but
the fact that the fan base is so strong and they pump these people up.
yeah,
It's like, oh, I remember, Julian Bashir and stuff like that. It's like, well, you know, I'm sure
I
they do
just
lots of other things. They're just not in the spotlight.
yeah, yeah. Anyways,
I don't know.
carry
Speaking
on.
of
Sorry.
Ensign Kim, look at that.
Oh my goodness,
I got me
the
a Star
full
Trek
journey.
Voyager. Yeah. And look at
Wow.
that. You know what that means right there? That little thing I got my finger over?
What do you have your finger
That
over? You mean
this little mark right here.
that means that it is rated 12. That's like the European rating,
That's
right?
German.
Oh, German.
Yeah, this
Okay.
is a German release.
And-
Somebody locally was selling off their Star Trek. They had all 5 series in these little boxes, and I was like, "Oh boy, it's time to get me Deep Space Nine," because as of January, they finally pulled Star Trek from the Japanese Netflix, so I can't watch anything on there anymore. So they had these for good price. Deep Space Nine was the very first one to go. I was like,
mm,
ah, darn it. I already had my Blu-rays for the original series and next gen. I was like, oh, you know what? I'll keep my eye on Voyager. It dropped to a little less price. I was like, yeah, all right, let me grab that. Enterprise is still sitting there because the seller is charging the same price for 4 seasons of Enterprise, the
mm.
same as like 7 seasons of next gen. It's like, nah, you gotta let that go cheaper. So I got myself Voyager. I still can't believe I don't have Deep Space Nine yet. I gotta get my hands on a copy.
Oh, I don't know if I should go down the Voyager road again. I've
Yeah,
tried.
I will. I mean, it's not as
Yeah,
good. It's not as good. It's definitely not my favorite series, but there's good stuff in there.
yeah,
And I will take Voyager over
uh,
Discovery and
yeah,
all the new stuff. So
yeah.
okay, I got two more things I'll go into, and then I'm done. You mentioned something before that kind of tied in this. I forget what it was now, but when you mentioned it, I thought of it. I don't know. I got this 4-pack DVD of urban action collection films. These are
Black exploitation.
black exploitation films, and I
Nice.
watched all of them.
Oh, right.
Uh, there's Black Belt Jones, Hot Potato, Black Samson, and Three the Hard Way. Three of these feature Jim Kelly, this guy here, who
Uh-huh.
is most famous for being in Enter the Dragon.
Okay. I have not
So I
watched that
guess
movie
he
yet.
he had a little career beyond that, doing some cheap movies. Um, Hot Potato is stupid. I'd say skip that one.
Okay.
3 the Hard Way is okay. It's yeah. But Black Belt Jones and Black Samson, I recommend.
Hmm.
They were fun. And both of them had endings I had never seen in any other film.
Hmm.
So if you ever
Interesting.
come across Black Belt Jones or Black Samson, I recommend it. And there actually is a lion in this movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. There are some black exploitation box sets that come up on my Amazon feed once in a while.
Hmm.
Uh, let me see what's in them. If those movies are in them, they have like the Foxy Brown, the Pam Grier
Okay.
movies in
Yeah.
there.
I've never seen those.
Okay, I was going to
I like
ask you about them.
Shaft. Superfly was kind of meh.
We have
Good song though.
we have Shaft. Oh, look at that. The 110th Street, that movie across 110th Street, that movie that I mentioned
Yeah.
before, that's in this set. I didn't think about it as a
Hey.
black exploitation film, but okay, these are mostly none of those
Oh,
films are in
Yaphet
these
Kotto's
sets.
in that one.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. All right. I was just wondering if those movies were in those sets, but they are not. It's mostly the Pam Grier movies. They are quite expensive. They're like $150 for
Really?
6 movies. They're 4K transfers, so they charge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were
Uh,
looking at like junky DVDs.
oh, I
No
bet you
way.
I could find. Let's see what I can find on the DVD side. Well, surprisingly, not much.
Go to your local thrift store. That's the best
I
place.
don't find that stuff at the thrift stores. I find, the most of the stuff you find at the thrift stores is the stuff that's sold, a bajillion copies of, like the
Oh,
romantic comedies from 2008, stuff like that.
The Matrix, Harry Potter,
Yeah,
all that stuff.
those are the stuff that you find. You don't find too many obscure films like that. I think people are just savvy and they know they can resell them on eBay or something like that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I've heard.
Okay.
I keep hearing little things here and there from the internet, as reliable as that might be, that the younger generation are starting to get into uh, that nostalgic, like, hey, let's buy DVDs and
Yeah,
VHS.
I saw that as well. I think like anything, just like the retro game stuff, there will always be a market for that stuff, like people who are really into it, but it'll never be on a mass um
No, no, it's just
mainstream.
something to do. It's something
Yeah.
to do right now.
Yeah. Like
Well, I believe it because my local thrift store, they've recently had a bunch of CRTs come in where I didn't think they were buying them anymore, and there were like 4 of them up there at one point, and no one was touching them, but they dropped them down to $1.
okay.
$1 a piece,
Yeah.
and 3 of them have gone. There's just 1 more
Mhm.
sitting up there, and I
Yeah.
I kinda kicked myself because I wanted to get a slightly larger monitor for my arcade cabinet. I wanna just make it a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
If I find one for $1, I absolutely will.
I want to ask you how the uh when you went to the theater,
Mhm.
how uh there are a lot of people there. That's what I'm trying to
No,
ask.
no. The last time I went to a movie theater that had a lot of people, it was on like one of those cheap days. You get a
Yeah.
lower price ticket that day,
Yeah.
and it was the first day that a movie came out. Maybe half the theater was filled,
Hmm.
but the majority of the time I go, maybe a dozen people in the theater.
Yeah, because Duke was wanting when we were just discussing which topic to cover. One of the things he
Mhm.
suggested was the state of the movie industry, and so I kind of went
Yeah.
down a little path just to see like what it's all about in that. And I think Red Letter Media, of course, just coincidentally did a video last summer, I think, or the summer before, about just how um, the movie industry is kind of stuck in this old model of making money, right? Like if you think about it, since movies started like the 1910s, right? You made a movie, you put it in a movie house, people paid to go see the movie, and that's how the movie made money. And they've been doing that since, for like 110, 120, 110 years, let's say, up until really the pandemic, where that's really kind of kicked. The movie theaters haven't recovered from the pandemic, basically. And I think because a lot of people invested in, because they were stuck at home. So you invested, well, let's get a sound bar for this TV, right?
Sure.
Let's get a little better TV, or let's get a smart TV that has these apps on it, so we can just watch them easily. And I think that's kind of has killed that avenue for them to make money. And I don't know. I just kind of wonder where they're going to go from there. That's it.
Yeah.
It was an incomplete thought. I have to blow my nose again. Maybe I'll mute my mic this time, now that we're out of the 70s here, so Richard can.
Yeah, get rid of some of that grit. Well, I'll just mention this one last thing. I have been playing some games recently, not just the ones that we might. I don't know. Are we still playing those games that we thought we were going to play? There's the Industria. Are
Yeah,
we still doing that?
I don't know. I think so. Maybe
Okay.
not.
Because I remember I started playing that. But anyway, what I was mostly playing was I got into the kick to play Mortal Kombat
Oh,
because
okay.
I played it a bunch as a kid. I had it on the Genesis. I had Mortal Kombat 1 and 2. And of course, I got the emulation going for the arcade ports. But I realized I had never beaten the arcade ports, and I hadn't played that game in a long time. So I think, all right, well, I got the thing sitting there. Why not play some Mortal Kombat? So I start messing around with it, and I realize this is very difficult. I don't know any of
Yeah.
the moves. I gotta research all this. So I got a list of all the moves for the first game, and I started messing around. I was like, okay, I can pull off this move. I can do this. I still can't beat this game. Turn the difficulty level all the way down to very easy. It's like, all right, let's go through this. Still having a lot of trouble. This game is brutal with the AI. But in time, I was getting better. I was like, okay, now I can pull off basic moves. I have a little bit of strategy. I can pull off fatalities. I beat the game with Liu Kang. I beat the game with Sub Zero.
Oh,
It took
wow.
me about a week and a half, and every day I would just play. I was like, okay, I'll play as Scorpion now. Finish the game. Take about a half hour, 45 minutes on the easiest level because it's like I couldn't go through perfect or anything. AI is brutal.
Right.
I was like, all right, that was fun. Let's move on to Mortal Kombat 2. Did the same thing, just dropped that difficulty all the way down to easy. Got my list of codes. I was like, all right, I'm going to start with Liu Kang. Here we go. I played that game for about 2.5 weeks every day. I still cannot beat it with one character. The AI is brutal. It is. There's so many videos and things about it of how unfair it is and how like the first two levels are set at a low bar so that you feel good when you're pumping those quarters in.
Mm.
I was like, okay, got through the first one, got through the second one, then it just ramps up like super difficult. And there are a couple of suggestions. People say there's like a hack with certain characters. There's a strategy you can use to trick the AI, but it doesn't work with Liu Kang. And I was stubbornly just trying to get through with him. I can get I got as far as Kintaro, who is the Goro guy with the
Yeah.
four arms.
Yep.
So I got up to him, and it took me like a week and a half to get there. Can't beat him.
Yeah.
It's like you have to really, really sit down and train to be good at that game. Uh-oh, Kevin's blowing his nose again.
Yeah. My ill-timed nose blow. I don't know if Mortal Kombat 2 on the Super Nintendo is similar. How
I think
similar?
that
How
I
close?
think the console ports must have been dumbed down a bit because I remember playing through the Genesis version and beating that
Oh,
with
okay.
any character when I was a kid.
All right.
But the arcade, which I mean, I don't know how many fake dollars I've spent on that game now, but it's like just continue, 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 continue to the point that it really just doesn't. It's not fun anymore. When it's just
Yeah.
like, come on, it's like, do I have any chance unless I learn that super secret? Like, I have to be so pixel perfect and
Right.
time this exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never beaten a Mortal Kombat game. I
Mhm,
had Mortal Kombat 2 on the Super Nintendo in the 90s.
mhm,
So it was like one of the 5 games I had. Guru was the furthest I ever made it in that
mhm,
game. He would just his with his forearms just annihilate me.
mhm.
Yeah. I might have beaten like one of the more modern Mortal Kombat games. Might have. I don't really remember. There was one with the I think it was Mortal Kombat and superheroes were in it, like Superman and Batman and
Oh,
stuff.
there was like a DC crossover one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I beat that one. Like, but it's nothing like those old school 2D, motion capture games. I
Yeah.
never beaten any of them. And I never really had any desire to. I suck at them. I admit
Mm.
I'm not good at them. I know a few moves and I play Sarah because I could beat her. That's
Well,
about
that's
it.
it. If you play a person, yeah, you
Yeah,
got a shot. But
that's it. That's all I could like. I
boy,
could beat somebody who's worse at the game than I am. That's who I could. That nobody. I can't. There's nothing. That
it
computer, I can never beat him.
it's demoralizing. It's
Yeah.
like I don't know. I just got into a zone where I was like, I really want to do this. I really want to do this, and
Mm,
then I just decided, I'm
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it is difficult. I still every once in a while, like the closest I get is the Punch Out. I still want to beat that one day. I
Yeah, that one I
Yeah,
think Soda Popinski might have been the highest I got. I beat
yeah.
the one on the Wii.
Did you
That,
did you
that's
fight the Donkey Kong in that?
No, I haven't gotten that far. I know that's
No,
like a is that a secret or is that like a final
I'm
boss?
not
Because
sure. I
you
don't
you
know.
play through and then you play through a second time and everybody like their style changes.
Yeah.
Like it's really clever actually because like Glass Joe is the thing is you hit him in the jaw. That's
Right.
his weak
Yeah.
point. But then the second round through, he's got one of those head protectors on that protects his jaw.
Right.
So
Yes.
you have
Yeah.
to learn a new strategy. He's got
Right.
like a
Yeah.
new tell. Um, but I don't think I made it through the second round because the Wii version is pretty rough too.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the original Mike Tyson's Punch Out, that is one of my favorite games on the NES, but I cannot beat it.
Yeah. I mean, you can. You can. You just haven't taken the time yet. You can do it.
Well,
Come on.
come on. Well, it's hard to dedicate that time because there's a bunch of new things coming out that I'm actually interested in.
Really?
There's
Like like what?
well, there's that Marvel Cosmic whatever beat 'em up that I still haven't bought yet,
Right.
like the Ninja Turtle
Yeah.
inspired one.
Yeah, I
And
haven't
there's a
gotten that yet.
He-Man game coming out like that.
I've heard of that.
Um,
Yeah.
and then they just announced like X-Men Arcade and some other Marvel games are getting a re-release officially. Um, so I was like, all that stuff is distracting me. It's like, oh, maybe I'll dip into some of those.
Well, for games I've been playing what's that game called? Horizon Forbidden West. It's a sequel to Horizon
Zero
Zero
Dawn, is that
Dawn.
right?
Yeah,
Okay,
which
I
is a
remember
game
that.
which is a game I absolutely loved. The sequel very slow start. Like the original game has like one of the best game openings. It's just like I'm not a big story guy, but this one like it really sucked me into the whole universe and all that. And it never let me go. Like the whole thing. The second game takes its sweet time to get started.
Mm,
It eventually does get going and it does become more interesting, but It's just a monster of a game. It is huge. There's just so many side quests, and it's taken me forever to play it. But just whatever. I know all the moves and all that, so I just don't want to play another game until I finish this one. So I'll throw it in, play about 45 minutes, and then do a couple of quests. And so I think I've been playing for like 2 months now. It feels like forever.
Goodness.
But I borrowed it from my buddy Frank there. So eventually, I feel like when I borrow things from people, I more motivated to get through it so I can give it back, kind of thing. Kind of like these Quentin Tarantino movies. That's pretty much it that I've been playing as far as I know. I tried some other games, to fill in the blanks and stuff, but nothing really ever spoke to me.
What was it that you didn't like about that Dead Time Defenders? Is that what it was called?
It was just really, yeah. So that was one of the games that we were trying out that we got for free with the Epic. In fact, I better get on that Epic. I didn't download my games yesterday. I don't know what they were. So that game was like it. When I looked at the videos and stuff, it reminded me a lot of Castle Crashers, just some shooting. It's the same kind of.
Well, I mean, even the name Dead Time Defenders, Castle Crashers, they're definitely aping off of it.
It just, when I played it, I finished it in about an hour, and there wasn't.
Oh, really?
It wasn't very deep. Maybe 2 hours. Maybe it was about 2 hours. There wasn't much to it. It was very simple. I don't know if there was a difficulty setting on it at all. I can't remember. But it was very basic, very simple.
It's just Castle Crashers with guns.
Yeah, except Castle Crashers had like progression, and there was a meat to that game. There's just like basically not much to this game. There's a little bit of gameplay. You unlock different upgrades and stuff to your weapons and all that. And before you know it, like the game was like as I'm playing it, I'm like, is this game going to be finished now? Like, it seems like way too early. I'm like, oh, this is going to be like the fake ending, right? And then there's going to be like another bad guy. But no, that was it. It just ended. I'm like, I guess the idea is that you play through the game again, kind of thing, with like, because it's multiplayer, so you play with your friends, kind of thing.
Yeah, use different weapons, make different decisions.
Yeah,
change your appearance around. That was a big part of the beginning.
But at the end of it, they're just like, there wasn't really much to say about it other than just what we said.
Okay,
play for an hour.
I'm not a fan of the art style. It's basically like you're a giant head on a tiny body.
Yeah,
I never liked that, and it also had the thing where the hands float, like those.
Yeah,
like Wii Sports kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, it was very.
Where Castle Crashers was like a nice drawn animation. It was like fluid.
It felt very like a mobile game kind of.
Yeah,
I think they use kind of the same assets that you would use for a mobile game. Not that it was bad. Like what was there was fine. It's just there wasn't very much of it, and you can definitely see why. You can definitely see why it was a free game. Like, what else are you gonna do with this thing? So
sometimes they give away some nice things on Epic.
Sometimes they give away great things, yeah, but that wasn't one of them.
Well, they do it every week, so sometimes it's 2 games. So
sometimes it's games that they already gave away, and they're giving it away again. So
yeah, and I don't even notice. I'll go like, "Oh, that looks interesting," and you see,
me too.
In the library.
I have this already. Oh, okay. Oops.
One thing that stinks is sometimes it's just like an add-on pack for some game.
Yeah,
it's like costume.
Yeah,
oh boy.
Or it's an MMO, and you're just getting like free money in the MMO, or you need the base game, and all you're getting is like look at us, we're complaining about free stuff.
We're complaining about free stuff. Yeah,
we're entitled to a full game. Come on. Okay. Well, that was about it. Yeah, that's like a 2-hour episode. So, I think it was all quality though. You got quality 2 hours. Some podcasts, you don't even get any episodes anymore. They're just like, where the heck are those episodes? Where the heck are those episodes, guys? By the way, when Duke is on, apparently it will be the day after his 51st birthday. So that's going to be interesting. Talk to him about that. But rest assured, Duke, you're not the oldest person ever to be on this podcast. You're not the oldest. Well, unless you count. Okay, there's my mom. Like technically, she was on here for an episode, right? So she's technically the oldest. But there's one person who's older than Duke that was on here.
Really?
Yeah. And I know because I saw his passport when we came over the border.
Oh,
right. From
narrowing
Canada.
Things down there.
That's right.
Huh?
Came over the border. I saw that passport. I was like, "What the heck? The heck? You're older than Duke, my man." All right. That's it for this episode. Thank you everybody for watching and listening. Ooh. Nobody commented. Nobody's in the thing. I don't know if it's still worth it to do these live. I don't know if we should bother. What do I know?
I almost commented, but I have to join the chat, and then
who wants to?
I had to click on something. I was like,
I mean, I think this is right. I think this empty chat here is correct. But anyways, yeah. Thanks everybody, and we'll see you the next time.
Yeah, Duke and Dr. Moreau.
The island of Dr.
The island
not
of
Monroe.
Dr. Moreau.
Morrow. The island of Dr. Morrow.
Yes.
Should be good. All right.
Bye.